What's up, everybody? Dr. Livingood, good morning to you. Welcome to the show. I hope you got your coffee in you. Cheers to your Dr. Livingood coffee. Maybe you got a new mug. Did you get that at the Energy? I am the solution. I'm just reminding myself this morning to kick off my day, to kick off my week. I'm the solution to the problems going on in my life. I am the solution. So cheers to your coffee plus Moringa. Let's go. Let's dive into this thing. Disrupted sleep. What can you do to stop from waking up in the middle of the night? And 5 ways for better sleep to eliminate insomnia and feel restored, wake up feeling restored. Get your sleep life back, get your energy back. It impacts your metabolism, impacts your blood pressure, all kinds of things. So it's Dr. Livingood. What's up, everybody? We're going to dive into better sleep. Now, I have a better sleep blueprint, and there are 5 big ways to fix the causes of what creates sleep issues in the first place. And I'm going to get into one of them today because each of these is like an entire, full session teaching of its own. But this is probably the biggest one I get asked about is disrupted sleep, right? Your sleep is disrupted. You can't quite get there. You're waking up in the middle of the night and you're wide awake and you just don't feel rested in the morning. So we're going to talk about this. Let's dive right into it. Typical night's sleep, 3 to 5 cycles of this sleep cycle. Now, you could have a poor sleep structure, which really impacts this cycle, but basically what you're doing is you're going from awake. There's a latency time. That's a very important piece, by the way. Hold a separate subject. If you don't know your sleep latency, something to measure for sure. You go into a quick REM and then light sleep and then deep restorative tissue building sleep. And then you work your way back out of light sleep and you're back into REM again. Now, REM is your dream sleep. So this is your dream stages, and REM gets longer the further the night goes on, or at least it is supposed to. Deep sleep is earlier in the night, heavy, recovering, healing. So you might be missing more deep sleep. You might be missing more REM sleep. Memory, brain function, clarity, brain fog, deep sleep, more dealing with these types of symptoms of not refreshed, groggy, irritability, daytime fatigue, poor focus, increased hunger, short temper, let alone its impact on tissue repair, metabolism dysfunction, energy production, detoxing of your brain, improving of your memory. This all happens during deep sleep. Very, very important. Where your REM sleep later in the night is your brain rewiring and the connections that go on within your brain, the synapses of it. It allows you to have emotional imbalance. Like if you were to have a car accident or some kind of accident or some kind of very stressful situation is the example. That night, if you can get higher amounts of REM sleep, you will deal with the emotional strain of that better the next day. You'll take it better. You'll respond better. That's what's happening in the latter part of your nights of sleep. In the earlier parts, it's that healing, it's that inflammation, it's that tissue repair. So which one is it for you? Are you dealing with a lot of anxiety, stresses? It could be that you're suffering with REM, or, and this is the reason I'm showing you this, or maybe you're having more of these types of issues or concerned with your metabolism and your energy production and your brain detoxifying, brain fog, memory side of things. Maybe you're lacking in the first part of sleep, the latter part of sleep, or maybe you're just dealing with both, right? And that's when it starts to break down. But if you can't fall asleep, you're cutting into deep sleep time and REM time. And if you get woke up in the middle of the night, you might blow up the 2 of those in between. So I'm going to give you the keys to a restful sleep, stop the disruption, and start to dig in on one of the 5 ways to really make an impact here. Now, you should spend 2 to 5 minutes awake. 2 to 5% awake of your sleep latency, falling asleep, down regulating your body, and then get into it. You might wake up a little bit during the night. That's what makes that up. Light sleep, about 50% of it. Deep sleep needs to be about 1/5 of it, and then 1/4 of it REM sleep. That's sort of the breakdown of where you need to be if those numbers are off, and they might vary a little bit depending on your age and your schedule, a lot of factors with it. However, makes a big difference. Traditionally in America, though, we are very deficient. East Coast, you are watching all that television and TV the West Coast is putting on. You're staying up way later, which means you're more sleep deprived, you have more sleep debt. So you are at a disadvantage on the East Coast, but we all are impacted by this thing, these rhythms of it. So let's take a look at the 4th cause of waking up too much, not being able to get restful sleep, dealing with insomnia. Disturbed sleep, disrupted sleep. Now, I would say the main thing that disrupts my sleep are 3 little humans. And they can come in at any moment of the night. They come in the morning and they're like trying to be quiet, like, hey, mommy, hey, I'm gonna go downstairs. And like everyone can hear you, bro. So a lot of disrupted sleep in the Livingood household. Haven't found a remedy to that. And then some people will be like, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back. You're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. You're gonna want more sleep. But it's right. I'm okay with the disruption of a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old. But for you, you might not have that going on. What is disrupting your sleep? How do we fix this thing? Here are 6 different things you can implement immediately to get better sleep, because it's creating the grogginess for you. It's creating the fatigue issues for you. Here we go. Okay. Disrupted sleep. Number 1, we've got to address cortisol. The stress hormone is too high going into the day, or it is on your brain. Now, this kind of ties in with nighttime anxiety, which is another major cause of bad and poor sleep. But cortisol levels, if you have something weighing on your brain and you go to bed, you are thinking about this thing, you are anxious for the morning, chances are you're going to get disrupted sleep. That has to be addressed. So number 1, going into the night, you need to get that out of you. Talk about it, write about it, brain dump it, get it out, get a game plan, get content as much as you can with the schedule, the problem, the thing that you have going on. Go to bed early enough so you have enough time to prepare in the morning. If it's more of a deadline, anxious, I got something big to do tomorrow, we've got to address that side of things. That is what I find impacts my disruption when it comes to cortisol the most. Now, you can also address this through breathing. So breathing exercise, paced breathing. We have entire guides in the sleep training. You can get this full breakdown of all 5 of the major disruptors and causes of bad sleep and how to address all of them. And it's a complete blueprint, complete guide, including the breathing guide that I'm showing you right now. That's in the link below. But to do this, it's a 5-second deep breath in, 5-second deep breath out. The breath out is almost more important than the breath in. And I will literally lay there in bed, Nurse Livingood probably thinks I'm crazy, and do that breathing pattern, because I am attacking cortisol before I get to sleep, because I don't want to get disrupted or disturbed. You've got to address cortisol. You can also do this through several herbs, things of that nature, that stress support. Adaptogens, ashwagandha, rhodiola, some of these improve fatigue, eliminates that. Cognitive function. Adaptogenic herbs are anti-fatigue. They increase your mental capacity. Ginseng helps fight it, stress and fatigue. Obviously, we talked about ashwagandha. That's going to help with your body weight as well. Stress resistance, rhodiola, shishandra. These all have anti-stress effects. So adaptogenic herbs, great way to help lower cortisol levels. Taking that right before bed might be the way. I created my own from a stress support perspective, dropping those in from an organic perspective, using medicinal mushrooms, ginseng, horseradish, holy basil, ashwagandha, B vitamins, helping to fend that off. Breathing, adaptogenic herbs, great way to lower that cortisol level before bed, okay? Avoid blue light. This will literally spike it. If you do this in the middle of the night, when you wake up, you pick up your phone, and that's what you go to, you're going to get stimulation. It's going to mess with your melatonin levels, the circadian rhythm that's going to interrupt your sleep patterns. That's another one of the main 5 ways that your sleep gets disrupted. That's in the training in the link below if you want to go through all of these. But avoiding blue light, it's going to mess with melatonin levels. I would at least have a yellow filter on your phone at night where it switches to yellow when it's nighttime instead of blue. That helps a little bit. But if you do wake up in the middle of the night, grabbing your phone's not ideal. Reading, listening to some kind of meditational, calming music, white noise, that can really help. But avoiding blue light, especially an hour before bed. When it is dark outside, it needs to be dark in your room. Think about it. If you lived 500 to 1,000 years ago, you wouldn't have the option, right? A candle, it's blowing out. You don't want to waste your supplies. And it's nighttime. So very important to be working your way through lowering the amount, especially of blue light. Okay. If you're disrupted by waking up, going to the bathroom, you want to limit some fluids before bed. What I would recommend for this is taking in electrolytes in the afternoons. You're getting electrolyte salts, especially if you deal with restless legs type scenario that's disrupting you. Get electrolytes in the afternoon. Mine are linked below, and that will help to get fluid into the tissue so you're hydrated, but you don't have to drink lots of water before bed to prevent bathroom trips. Is another simple one, okay? You might also just want to address the positioning of your sleep. Now, I use sleep aids to do these. These are formulated rolls. The curvature in your neck should be 45 degrees. The curvature in your lower back should be 35 degrees. So I use a 3-inch roll behind my neck and a 2.5-inch roll behind my low back, and it puts a curve into my spine because during the day I sit a lot. If you sit a lot or you drive, sitting's the new smoking, that is damaging the spinal cord, can create discomfort. That might be the reason why you're tossing and turning. Now I can only be on those for anywhere from an hour to a couple of hours. I kick them out, use my pillow the rest of the night. Sleep positioning is incredibly important. So using sleep aids to put that in the position. If you're on your side, careful of those shoulders. They take a beating doing that. But I usually will hug a pillow, kind of a body pillow, if I'm on my side and I don't want my head to be too little of pillow or too much of pillow when I'm on a side. I want it to be nice and straight. Positioning could be causing discomfort that could be creating this type of disturbance in your sleep for you, okay? Number 5, magnesium. Magnesium leads to stress in the system. So stress, cortisol levels deplete magnesium. When magnesium goes down, there's more stress in the system, which means the more depletion of magnesium, which then starts to break the body down from a perspective of energy production, ATP production. This is why we get really fatigued. And magnesium itself can actually help you sleep better. So taking this right before bed might be very helpful. My sleep support has it in it. I have magnesium supplementations. You could do an Epsom salt bath and get a little bit of it transdermally through the skin to relax you. In fact, a shower or hot bath is another way to help your sleep latency. The 5th cause of sleep disturbance and sleep problems in the first place. Just taking a hot shower or hot bath can help significantly improve how fast you fall asleep and stay asleep so it's not disrupted. You may try Epsom salt one. It's not the stress that kills us. It's the reaction to it. So if you cannot deal with these cortisol levels, your sleep's disrupted, you can't deal with it, you're more fatigued, it's going to drain your energy, impact so many different things. This will eventually tax your adrenals, which people that experience adrenal fatigue oftentimes are relying on energy drinks or sodas or other stimulants just to get through the day. And an illness, a life crisis, or a continuing difficult situation or lack of sleep can just deplete these adrenals, and then it actually makes your sleep even worse. So I would suggest a cocktail before bed. Not that type of cocktail. Alcohol before bed actually makes your sleep latency shorter, and then you get less deep sleep and less REM sleep. See the beginning of the video to understand how important those are. So alcohol, a no-go before bed. Eating close to bedtime, not good at all. Marijuana, actually same scenario, and then caffeine in the afternoon. But when it comes to taxing the adrenal glands, let's do an adrenal cocktail. This adrenal cocktail guide is part of the guide that comes with the full sleep training, which you can easily get for free below. But basically what you need to replenish your adrenals with, the food of the adrenals, is vitamin C. Most of the vitamin C in your body is stored in your adrenal glands, 80+%. Potassium, sodium, and you could add in a couple others if you wanted to mix in. But you basically need a source of vitamin C, source of potassium, source of sodium. You could mix orange juice, right, with aloe vera and sea salt. Might be a weird concoction for a cocktail, but you kind of get the point. I like to use some of the powder mixes that I have, my electrolytes powder, my vitamin C powder. You could use lemon juice, you could use lime juice. Those are great sources of vitamin C. For potassium, you could use an aloe vera juice, you could use a coconut water. You're gonna get a little sugar there, or you can use an electrolytes powder. That's my favorite because it tastes better and it's really easy to add to one of those juices. And then adding in sea salt, it might change the flavor a little bit. If you don't want to add in the sea salt, use an electrolyte powder that tastes way better than the sea salt. But you got to get these electrolytes in. This is adrenal foods that are going to calm these adrenals down, which is waking up and disturbing your sleep and taking you out of what we looked at earlier, your normal sleep patterns. So if you can get to sleep faster using magnesium, using your breathing patterns and calming your system down by not doing blue light, you'll get to sleep faster, which then is going to propel you into past that dream sleep of REM state, get you to deep sleep the first half of the night. If we can prevent an interruption by spiking cortisol levels because you've done a brain dump, you've planned, you've gotten to bed early enough, and you are not reliant on alcohol or marijuana or late afternoon caffeine, then you're not going to be waking up. You're going to get that deep sleep. If you don't wake up in the middle of the night because you don't have to go to the bathroom, you're not hurting, and your cortisol is not spiking because you've supported your adrenals, you have a higher likelihood of getting to REM sleep where you're dreaming and you're helping out your memory and you're helping out the function of your brain. See how that whole process works and gets broken down. These steps, this is one of the 5 keys and the 5 main ways that sleep is disrupted, interrupted, and what is causing you to not have good sleep, to have poor sleep. And the path back is fixing your disrupted sleep and the other 4 keys to better sleep in the first place. So I put those keys below in a link for you. You can easily join that training, go through them, get the guide, get the blueprint to really lay this thing out for you to help you to restore your sleep and get it to a better level. Now, magnesium, extremely important to be putting into your body, energy production. So I put a video on that here for you to not only get restorative sleep, but to also restore these and get these nutrients in so you have better energy through the day so you can do more, you can enjoy more, you get more out of your days because you're healing and restoring at night. So that's the next video up for right here. And check out the sleep training. I'll see you in there.